Well, as we all know, across the nation, there's been numerous attacks, I would call them, on schools where students, teachers have been shot by people from the outside, bringing weapons to the inside. The city of Brewton was one of the first cities to put resource officers in all three of our schools. Now what we're doing, we're bringing outside consultants in to examine the buildings and the premises themselves to give advice, suggestions on how we can make our school buildings even safer.
They're actually listed, if you look them up, they're actually listed as a public safety consultant or security services. Most of the guys are retired police officers, retired military special forces. And we actually found the company, Escambia County, Florida. They use them as a drive of safety. It's free to the school system. It's a company that's wanting to get their names out, and so we contacted them and we sat down and we started looking at what if this did happen in Brewton? What would we do? What would my officers do? So we started looking at our active shooter policy, and we've made a lot of changes on it and done different things. And part of it is just for somebody else other than myself or one of my officers to come in and look from the outside and just say, hey, this could be better or that could be better, and give us some advice to move forward for the safety of our kids. And so we got up with Dr. Varner, superintendent of school systems, and he was fully on board with it, and he said that that he accepted them coming in. So of course we're here today to try to make things better for our kids and make safety for education better. Well, of course, like the mayor said, we got officers here, and they're walking perimeters. They're talking to the kids. They're knowing the kids. They're knowing what is unusual activity, and that's the main thing I want to tell them, that we're trying. We're doing all that we can do to stop something like this happening in Brewton. And but by having those officers there, by knowing the kids, by making sure the perimeters are locked, that's pretty much what we're offering at this point. And also, these officers are not only here; they're also offering education to to deter this stuff. They talk to the kids about what they should and shouldn't be doing. So, Brewton Police and the City of Brewton's got a lot going on here at the T.R. Miller High School, middle school, and elementary levels.
Obviously, with the national news and the incidences that have occurred at schools, we always have to be aware of student safety. So what we decided to do is have somebody come in and look at it from fresh eyes, experienced eyes, and see what we can work on to make our school safer for our students.
And this was something that actually I took a part in while I was a police officer before I retired, doing security assessments of schools. There are no guarantees in life, but you want to make yourself and your faculty and your students as hard of a target as you possibly can, so that someone's less likely to make an attempt to do harm or cause some major problems. So you do that by having staff that's constantly aware of what's going on around them. Don't become complacent. Things such as putting signs up so that people have no excuse but to go to the main entrance. Try to set things up so that they can only come in through the main entrance. There's a plethora of things that you can do, but at the end of the day, you want it to be as difficult as possible for someone to come in and to cause harm to our children. So majority of my team is either prior military or prior law enforcement. And this is what we enjoy doing. We have a saying in law enforcement: there are three kinds of people in the world. You have the sheep, you have the wolf, and you have the sheepdog. I'm still a sheepdog.
The city and the police have always had a close relationship with our school, and I think parents are aware that this is a safe community. Our schools have had good records, but I want to reassure parents, because they see the news just as well as I do, that we are doing everything we can to protect their children, make their children safe, and so the students can come here and focus on what they need to focus, which is education and learning.
Well, it's hard for me to address the future when you get into law enforcement. I mean, Chief McGugan and I, we meet on a regular basis, discuss things he's heard at conference, things that I've heard at conference, see what we can implement, what the school is implementing, so we all work together for the safety of the children.